These are the sights and sounds that many have never experienced in person. But that can change for you this weekend.
3 seats in the radio room, and then there's 2 seats behind the cards.
We built about 12,000 of these, and there's 11 that are flyable. There's 5 airplanes that really tour, and so it's kind of a rare thing to be able to see a B-17 or come take a ride on one.
John Shuttleworth is one of the volunteer pilots. He says without public tours, the B-17 will be nothing more than a memory.
Everything we do goes to support the airplane. So the airplane's incredibly expensive to operate. All of the ride revenue goes to the maintenance and the restoration and just keeping the airplane going, and we're all volunteers.
As you walk down the fuselage of the airplane, you'll see original radio equipment, desks, seats, even turrets. Much of the aircraft is untouched from its production in the late 1930s and 1940s. In fact, you can even take pictures from the top hatch, which is left open during flight. At the front of the plane, under the cockpit, you get views unmatched by any aircraft that we are accustomed to today. The purpose of allowing the public to see these views? To honor those who use this aircraft in combat.
47,000 airmen went down with the B-17, and so we operate the airplane to share that story and share that sacrifice.
The men who flew these planes into combat during World War II, at least those who are left, are now well into their 90s. For some, seeing this aircraft for the first time in over a half a century can be magical.
Like on Father's Day, I've seen whole families break down because Grandpa finally told him the story of what happened because of seeing this airplane and being able to hear it.
When the last of the people are gone, this tiny fleet of airplanes will be the closest thing we have to a piece of history that feels alive.
So the only way we can do it is by selling the rides and keeping her going as a working girl. When people no longer value that and no longer see that they want to do that, unfortunately she'll go quiet.
Big thanks to photojournalist Jade Birch, who helped take that video. If you were interested in flying on the B-17, it will be at the Elkhart Municipal Airport this Saturday and Sunday between 10 and 2. Tickets are $4.50 for a 30-minute ride. But if you don't want to fly and you want to tour the aircraft, you can do that. There's no fee, but donations are recommended. One of the things, well, 2 things. The pilot said he knows that's a large fee, but it takes an incredible amount of money, about $5 grand an hour to fly that because it's all metal.
And you went up there. Do you think it's worth it for that?
It's absolutely worth it. And one of the takeaways, today's flight was only for media to help promote this.
Sure.
He says, and it was really moving too, the vets now, we're talking mid-90s, you know, it was almost 75 years ago, the end of World War II. And he says sometimes when they see this plane, it gets them out of their shell and they can talk a little bit about their experiences with their family. And he said it's just incredible that it unites the families to hear the stories and whatnot. So if you have the opportunity to do so, if that's a little bit steep for you, take the kids, take your parents if they're interested in this, and just tour it. You don't have to, I mean, it doesn't cost. They ask for a donation. It's awesome to just crawl in this thing, and you physically can touch history.
Piece of history, that's right.
It's incredible.
All right, Matt, thanks.